Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
Good afternoon, morning, or night. It depends where you're listening, what time it is where you're listening. It really does depend, basically, what time it is as you're listening to this. But wherever you are, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good midnight, good dawn rise, good. How many more goods can I get in there, Jose?
You can get as many goods as you want. You could even get goodies in there. So why not? Take
Goodies?
it away. Well, like,
goodies?
the goodies, as in, goodies, the candies and things you eat, goodies. So it's good and the goodies. No, you didn't like that one? Okay, let's just restart the podcast then. Let's just cancel this episode. This is not an episode anymore. It's not good.
It's definitely not. It's a sweetie-sode. Do you see what I did there?
Yeah, sure. So but you got that from the goodies pile.
Yeah, that deserves a cheer. That joke deserves a cheer. Yeah, baby. That's right. A sweetie-sode.
For some reason, I get the boo all the time. Yeah, no, let's call it sweetie-sode. Okay, sweetie-sode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing.
What do you mean that you get the boo?
No,
you never get the boo.
No, of course not.
Boo!
Not today. I'm not going to get the boo today. We can't edit that out, people. If you're listening to this bit, it's been edited.
You can't edit it out. No, I'm sorry. There's no editing.
There's no editing. We are
live on YouTube as well. For everybody watching us on YouTube, hello. Welcome to the Elliot and Jose Show. If you're not watching us on YouTube, hello. Welcome to the Elliot and Jose Show.
Exactly. The Elliot and Jose Show is on Clubhouse, but this one is the Public Speaking Experts Podcast. But yeah,
that's correct.
Either way, you see us. So you're seeing us now. Can you? So just drop us a message. Yeah, we can see you. Loving the conversation. Yes. No. Yes. And then subscribe. Leave some comments.
Yes.
Because then if you do, Elliot is giving away. What are you giving away, Elliot?
You can have a copy of my book at no cost to you. I will send it out to you. So as long as you take a picture, send it to us on Instagram. Send us proof on the Elliot and Jose Show on Instagram that you've taken a picture of your beautiful comment. We will send you a copy of my book. And then, you know what? We're going to make this announcement here. Jose, are you ready?
Oh, goodness me. What's going to
happen?
Are
you ready for this?
I'm excited. Yes, I'm ready.
Are you in? I need to know you're in.
I'm in.
Because this is going to happen very quickly if you're not.
I'm in. So if
I'm
not, it's going to happen quickly or quicker.
Well, either way, it's happening. It's a bit like,
Doesn't matter then. I'm out. And it's just, I'm super excited. I'm out.
It's a bit like when you've eaten something and it's a bit quick to come out. It's a bit like that. You're not quite ready. And then...
So you've eaten like a tamarind or something like that, yeah?
A tamarind?
Yeah. Don't you call it tamarind? Like
What's
the tamarind fruit? Tamarind fruit?
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I mean, this is meant to be the Public Speaking Expert Podcast, not the Fruit Speaking Expert Podcast. Well,
it is.
Do you mean a tangerine?
No, not tamarind.
What's a tamarind?
Well, in Spanish, it's called tamarindo. Tamarind, T-A-R. Oh, sorry, I misspelled it already. Hold on. Okay. You please entertain the audience while I find this. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay, so basically what I'm going to announce while he's looking, I think you're probably right, and I'm the one that's a bit ditzy right now, is we're going to launch the Public Speaking Experts Bible, aren't we? The book.
Tamarindo. So this is the one in Spanish.
But that's Spanish. Tamarindo.
Hold on. Oh, now Asian. Well, it's an Asian fruit. When we visited Asia, we often drank juice made from tamarind.
Okay.
Tamarind.
So, tamarind. Okay, there we go. Tamarindo.
Tamarindo. Well, actually, you eat that, and apparently it helps you. When you eat it, then things come out. Anyway, the Public Speaking Experts Podcast. What is the big announcement?
I just made it.
Oh, what was it? Am I in?
We're going to launch the Public Speaking Expert Bible.
All right.
I just did it while you're going, Tamarino. I just made the announcement.
I mean, okay, cool people. Well, then, so stay tuned because it's going to come out and you're going to download it maybe. We still don't know what we're going to do with it, but you're going to benefit from it. That's for sure.
I can tell you exactly what they can do with it. They can buy it, they can download it, and well, it depends how adventurous you are. They can get the audiobook.
So, yeah, there we go.
There you
So
go.
that's it, people. Are you ready? Start sharing it out there because this is going to go a long way. I mean, we are not going anywhere unless Elliot decides, just to not give me the stage. But then I keep on fighting it until I'm back. And I'll tell him what I want, what I really, really want. And we're not going to sing that song again. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And by the way, I want to say that Elliot is feeling a bit blue today. He's just, a bit of a cold, just in case his voice is not the usual. Hey, you want to become a paid speaker? I'll show you how to become a paid speaker.
Are you mimicking me?
Never. No,
I think
it
you
wouldn't
are.
work. Nah, no, that wasn't it. But look,
Are you trying
how
to do my?
about...
Oh my god! I want to be a speaker. I want to be a speaker. I want to be a paid speaker.
No, you want to be
Is
a
that what you're
speaker.
trying to do?
If you want to be a speaker, yeah, that's what I try
If you
to
want to
do.
be a speaker, you gotta get
better call Elliot
friends. No, let's
Kay.
not do that again. So let's get going with today's topic. Thank you so much for persevering and putting up with our tamarino and everything else that we've been talking about today. And we're excited about the announcement of the book that is coming shortly. So keep an eye out. It'll probably be 2022 when it comes out. I can't see it coming out this year, but just watch out for that. That is coming. And what it will be is a collection of everything we talked about in Clubhouse, everything we talked about on the podcast here. And so just watch out for it. And so I'm excited about that as well. So today we're talking about strategies for confidence, Jose. I know we've done other episodes about confidence, and it's just a topic that doesn't go away. Whatever we do, however many people we meet, confidence always comes up. So we thought we'd do an episode around strategies for confidence. But before we get going, why don't you tell us what are some of the big challenges people have around confidence?
Dun, 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 dun. Well, this is a continuation of what we started discussing this morning, okay, on the Elliot and Jose show. So as we said, we want to create this content that's available for you anytime, anywhere, so you can listen to it and benefit from it and take action. So I shared two things. I'm going to share the two main things that could be going through your mind before you get on stage. And when I say stage, think about it this way. It's not the big stage in front of thousands of people, which could be, but actually before you go and present, before you go and deliver a presentation, two things might be going on in your head. One is that fear of failure in terms of being rejected, that your audience doesn't approve you, not being liked, not belonging, all of this that can happen. And the second one is the fear of losing control. Once you're there, what if people don't like it? What if people don't accept what I'm sharing? What if, which we tend to use for the negative. So those are two things that happen. And as we think about it, they are affecting our confidence. Okay? Then we'll speak about how to overcome this. And of course, but now this is, those are two of the main problems that I tend to find. I'm going to pass on the mic to Elliot because I'm sure he'll come up with a few more and then we crack on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also I think the whole, confidence is so multifaceted, right? There's so many factors that make up confidence or lack of confidence. And I do think imprints play a big part in that, an experience we had in the past that's made an imprint on how we filter information now. For example, today I talked about, when I sang, you wouldn't believe it because we sing so much on this podcast, but when I sang years ago, and I just remember someone sniggering, and that moment I decided I'm a terrible singer and I can't sing. And it's true, I can't sing and I am a terrible singer, but that's not the point I'm making right now. Someone talked about today when they were a 4-year-old and their pants dropped and how that left an imprint on them. I do remember working with a former apprentice, as in working, not as in coaching with her. She came and did a talk and we worked with her within the context of Speaker Express. And she talked about the fact she stood up at assembly, she went to speak and she froze and then she was laughed at. And as a result of that, she had a terrible relationship with public speaking. Now she runs a public speaking agency. So what happens is when we're a lot smaller, a lot younger, we have these events and these events leave an imprint. And unless you've quickly got over it, dissolved it, it could have an effect on the future. So if any way you've associated speaking up, speaking in front of people to anything but a positive experience, it can have a detrimental negative experience. Like the lady that asked the question today, she's like, I don't have any confidence. I pay people to do my presentations for me. And I think imprints play a big part in that. And so maybe we can address how to overcome imprints as well, which we know is reframing, deframing, and of course, building a new frame of reference. But I think that's a massive, massive part, because also it can be so unconscious that you're not aware that you have that imprint. And I'll give you another example. Just before you and I got on the podcast, it was a Zoom meeting, but my first parents meeting over Zoom. And the woman, the teacher, was incredible, was talking about my daughter. And it was nothing but praise. But unconsciously, I was dreading it because my association is negative, because all of my parents' meetings throughout my whole schooling life were negative. I'm disruptive. He's this, he's that, he's that. So unconsciously, I'm going, oh my God, this is going to be a terrible experience. And then when she opens her mouth, she's like, she's an incredible, she's delight. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, my association was highly negative. So, and that's what imprint does on you. And then there's reaffirming the imprint, right? Then there's the whole, continuously being affirmed that this is true, this is true. And there's various ways we look for it, right? We either filter for it, we tell stories about it, or it actually happens. So it's a little bit like before Jose met, he met his wife and she actually went out with him. He kept saying, would you go out with me? She's like, no. Would you go out with me? No. Would you go out with me? No. Would you go out with me? No. So he had to create a different frame of reference to rejection. So eventually she said yes. Is that right, Jose?
Yeah, I started doing something called compartmentalization, in my head, just to deal with the different emotions associated to my failure. It's just, what kind of story is that? You're telling the audience, people, this is not how it happened, but let's leave it like that. And if you're very curious, you can ask me and I can tell you on the next episode or sweet episode or whatever we decide to call it, more about it, because it happened very differently. And it also has to do with confidence.
There we go. So we've talked about some bits around confidence. Is there any other challenge you can see when it comes to confidence? So we talked about imprint, you talked about rejection, you talked about losing control. Anything else you can think of on top of your beautiful mind?
Well, you mentioned the unconscious bias, of course, and the decisions we're making on a daily basis, and we carry on reinforcing these decisions. And those decisions then become beliefs, and we treat them as facts, which we also spoke about today. So at some point in our lives, think about it, we decided, because someone said something, and when I say we decided unconsciously, we just went, oh, that's true. You are really bad at speaking. And then you had a bad experience and you went and sat down. And then they stayed there. So every time you had the opportunity to speak, what Elliot said, you are actually strengthening the roots of that situation, of that decision you made. And then, of course, next time, you really want to speak, you got all of that burden, all of that weight. You're carrying all of that. So then what we can touch on next is just how do we start playing around with this? Because it can be changed. And sometimes it can be interrupted like this. So, yes, people, but it can be overcome. Woo!
Yeah, well, I love it. So just before we move to the next part, let's see if it happens this week. Because for those of you who've been listening to the other episodes, you'll know we had some challenges with our music and our sound effects. So will it happen today? Will it not happen today? That's what Jose said when he kept asking Anna out. All right, it's working. So listen, people, if you are liking what you're hearing on this podcast, of course, like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. And of course, if you do leave us a beautiful comment, we will then send you a copy of my book until we have our book. But the other thing, of course, is if you want to book us to come and speak, if you want to talk about working with us, reach out to us. Send us a DM. If you want to work with Jose because you find him funny and cool and insightful, reach out to Jose. If you want to work with me, reach out to me. Not because I'm funny, insightful, cool, because maybe you want to work with me. I don't know. Anyway, reach out to us. We're available. And do make sure you follow the show, the Elliot and Jose Show. And if you want a little bit more of this, listen to us live every day on Clubhouse, 12 o'clock UK time. Work that out wherever we are locally. I have no idea because I don't know where they are. Do you know where everybody is? I don't know. We have listeners all over the world now. It's really exciting, isn't it, Jose?
We do. All the way from Venezuela to China, all the way to the Caribbean, up to Greenland.
Manchester.
And Manchester, where my brother lives.
So at least we know we have one listener in Manchester. So, my man, what can people do about everything we talked about? What are some of the strategies to developing more confidence? Over to you, Jose.
Yes, people. And if you can see me there, I'm holding my fist against my forehead. So this is one thing I'm going to speak to you about. And it is the subjective experience that we all carry. Our subjective experience, which is how we experience our reality. Why am I saying subjective? Because it's very unique to us and it's not objective. Why is it not objective? Because some of the things we've discussed today, we're filtering that information, everything that's coming our way through our experiences, through our beliefs, our values, what we've learned, our culture, what people have told us, everything. We're filtering all of that. That's why that reality is not the reality itself. It's just the label, or the meaning is the word that we assign to it. Okay, why am I explaining this? Because it can be one of the starting points in understanding how you're perceiving situations. Oh, so now imagine, for example, I'm not very confident when I'm about to speak. You could then start, what beliefs have I got associated to this? What kind of decisions have I made? Or what are my values? Why is this important? When was I told I wasn't good enough when it came to speaking? So you start analyzing all of these things. And from a psychological point of view as well, and psychology does this as a structure, you can. This one is about understanding. So it's becoming aware of the problem in a way. Okay, I'm not being confident. What's going on? You see? So you start to look into it, sit in with that situation, that feeling. Then the second element, the second point, the second thing you can do is then you go actually and analyze, okay, what's really going on here? You go deeper. And then the third one, you go and predict. So imagine, I'm really bad at speaking. Okay, now I realize that it's
That's true.
because, exactly, thank you very much, Elliot. So then you realize that it's probably because Elliot said to you, you're not good at speaking and you need some of our training.
Hey, hey,
Yes.
hey. Will you take some response? You said it. I
Okay,
affirmed it.
there we go. I said it. I said it. So you are not good at speaking. I'm not saying you're not good at speaking, but you could be better. You struggle with your confidence. So you go, okay, you analyze it, and then you break it down and you go and predict, okay, so next time I experience this, what am I going to do about it for me to change it towards what I want? Okay, so those are, three elements. First of all, how we create a reality, how we establish that communication with what's coming our way, all of the filters we have in place for us to then either act or react. And then we can sit in, as I said, the three element framework. I love to speak in threes. And then you understand what's going on, become aware of it, you analyze it, and then finally you predict. So next time it happens, you can do something about it. Boom. Over to you, Elliot.
I love that. And also today you talked about, you want to talk a little bit about, I know you want to go over to me, but let's go over to you. You talked about smart, not goals. What did you call them? Smart outcomes?
Yes,
Smart
I call them
pants?
smart,
Smart
smart.
haircuts?
Yeah, it can be, well, all of that can help. So if you have a smart haircut, smart different things, I call them smart outcomes specifically.
Outcomes. There we go.
Yeah. Another thing when it comes to confidence, and this is a bit linked to purpose as well. Imagine you carry on saying, yeah, I don't have the confidence. So a way in which you can start overcoming this and dealing with it and finding something to do about it is, and I always have the example of my TEDx. And I think this is the story I shared this morning again.
Yeah, man.
I think I did my TEDx in 2018, I think, Elliot, or 2019. Anyway,
2018.
2000, yeah, thank you very much. So 2016 then, 2 years before. I'll go and check. Anyway, but I know it was 2 years before. I was looking at a good colleague of mine, and he was also one of my mentors, and he was helping me with the speaking and things. And I looked at him, and he was doing a TEDx. And I just went, wow, I want to do that. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just decided I'm going to turn it into an outcome. But what I mean by outcome is I'm going to put myself as if I'm already doing it. So I said, it is December 2018, and I'm delivering my TEDx, and I could see myself in front of the audience, and I added loads of details to that outcome that I wanted. In order to create a smart outcome, yes, I went for the SMART goals process to set up that we use in business, the framework that we use in business, in marketing as well. And I just went for something very simple, short, specific. That's the S. Then the M, measurable. So, and also, what's the plan? How am I going to get there? Then achievable. Make sure, yes, it is achievable. I can do it. It's actually about believing in me and everything else. Then we have the R, realistic, and also in agreement with my values and ecological also. And then finally, time bound. So I gave it a time. Why did I do this? More importantly, what did it do for me? Why? Because I wanted clarity. Clarity is key. What did it do for me? It helped me channel all of my energy towards something. So every time, and I created a plan to achieve it, and I used something called the 135, which I can speak about next time. So I had my main goal. I had 3 strategies and 5 actions I was going to do to achieve each one of those strategies. That's how I broke it down. So every time I thought about achieving my goal, I would feel nervous or whatever, but then that was my, what did I call it this morning? That was my burning desire. So nothing was going to stop me. So every time I felt nervous, I felt I wasn't good enough, my confidence was, shaking, I would connect with it, with my outcome. I would place myself in there, having successfully achieved that. And that became my guiding light. That became my compass for those 2 years. And in a way, something I do, and it helps me to continue. And that's where, for the next couple of years, I've got some more things coming my way. They keep me focused as well. So every time, I'm working on something, it's just, no, that's not going to help me achieve that. Or is it? You see? So it's just another angle, which can be very powerful. I invite you, because then we go, yeah, I lack confidence. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. What is it that you want? What are you going to do to achieve it? Start moving towards, instead of staying in problem focus. It's another way to go towards solutions more often. It's another way to play around with your mindset. Well, Elliot, I think I feel like I'm taking over. So I'm going to pass on the mic to you, and I'm going to drink coffee.
Well, your TEDx was loaded. If you're wondering what I was doing off screen there while I was looking away, it wasn't because of your face. The date, and your thing was uploaded on the 13th of August 2020. So that's when you actually did your TEDx. Is that true?
Oh, then I did it in 2019.
There we go.
Okay, so November 2019. But I knew I was doing it 2 years ahead. I didn't set the outcome for this year. In my mind, realistic was 2 years' time. But yeah, then whatever is realistic for you, as long as you don't go 10 years and then you get, you lose motivation because you're not getting there. But yeah, that worked. Yeah.
And as I was scrolling down, I'll just do it. Screw it, do it, just do it. With Alex is one of the things that shows up when you Google your name. There you go. Just so I'll share that with you. Okay, so the last thing we'll, because we've talked quite a bit about stuff today, and of course, if you want to know more, Jose, reach out to me. But I'll talk about the importance of reframe, and I talked about imprints and experiences, and you also touched on it, of course, Jose. How could you not? If we're talking about confidence. And the important part is to find a different frame of reference. So in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, there's a reframing. You do a lot of reframing, because you take an experience which you have one frame of reference, which is often negative, and then you want to give it a new frame of reference, and that's known as reframing. And the way you want to reframe it is for you to have an empowered experience and have a learning from it. You also want to take responsibility for it, but then have some form of a positive reframe. So many people don't know this, but it's in my book, Power to Succeed. When I was young, I had a sexual abuse experience. I was raped by a man. And obviously for many years, I had a very negative, which what you expect, frame of reference to the experience, which is what many people that experience rape have. But then I did a lot of work on it, and I've reframed the experience. Obviously, I'm never going to have a positive, but what I learned is to take responsibility for it. And I learned now I've collapsed the emotional attachment to it. And now I can talk about devoid of any shame, guilt, anything negative, although I'm aware the experience was negative. Does that make sense? So I did a whole reframing exercise around what happened on that day, the role I played in it. And now I'm able to say on a podcast that's going to go out to thousands of people, in a book that's been read by thousands of people, that happened to me, and I have zero charge around it. I guess the next stage is to go to forgiveness, right? I guess that's the next stage. I don't know if I've ever done that. I need to explore that. Anyway, that's for another conversation completely. So you can do that around public speaking. If your frame of reference is always negative, for example, oh no, I hate public speaking, or I don't want to present, right? You need to reframe it. Now there's a bunch of processes you can do to create the reframe, and that you do work with someone like Jose, who's NLP qualified. Don't just go to anybody that says they can do reframing. I can do it, but I don't do it very often. I'm trained in cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy, but I would suggest you go to someone like Jose, who's an NLP master practitioner, right? Because I think it's very important. So what you do is you take the reference, I hate public speaking, right? And then you reframe it to, I could enjoy public speaking. Oh, I could benefit from public speaking. Maybe public speaking could open doors for me. Maybe to begin with, public speaking won't be, what's a great frame I'm thinking here? It won't be amazing, but it will be good. And so what you also start to do is little bite-sized steps towards a reframe. And then the more you do, obviously the reframe changes. And that's a great coping strategy. That's a great strategy to having more confidence, because also we let go of the leap. It's not like, oh my God, click my fingers and you're all confident and you can jump on stage in front of 100,000 people and everything will be great. It's little bite size, and you reframe little. I don't know, I must have had 100 reframes around my experience until I completely collapsed it, right? Because the other thing, of course, Jose, from your experience, you probably know this, is you reframe one experience, but something else pops up. It's a bit like, and then you reframe that, something else. So it's getting to that place where, not that there's nothing, because we're not onions, right? We don't get to nothing. That's why I don't like the reference that you're like onions, because you don't peel away to nothing. But you get to that place where you're in control of the situation, and you framed it enough that you're confident to go after it, right? So for me, it's about the confidence to speak about it. I was able to open my mouth and go, look, this happened to me, and I'm okay with it, right? And take responsibility for it. So it's a great thing. If you've never done reframing, please do reach out to someone like Jose, reach out to someone who's qualified, right, to do this. Because once you've got this, pow, shum, boom, your life will change. And that's how I express it. Pow, shala, boom, your life will change.
Well, Elliot, what you've shared is powerful indeed. And most importantly, is the fact that it just doesn't happen overnight. And there's loads of reframing, and there's loads of things. There's loads of practice. There's loads of understanding, and getting to know yourself as well. This is a process, and that's the beauty of it. So yeah, I love it, Elliot. When you were speaking, this metaphor came to mind. You're about to cross a creek, and then what you do with these reframes and everything else that we touch on the Elliot and Jose show and this Public Speaking Experts podcast, you start creating the minor stepping stones. Yeah, small stepping stones, even if they're tiny, that you can only just tiptoe on each one of it, and you go step by step until you cross the creek. You see, well, there we go. So you inspire that thought, and that's the beauty of speaking. What can I say? You put images in people's minds.
Yeah, you see, you didn't get a boo. You got a cheer.
Wow, finally. So this is what it takes.
No, I love that little metaphor of, creating those mini little stepping stones to get you across the creek, or building that bridge. I think that's fantastic. So well done. You definitely get it.
Well done, people, because I definitely want to know what you're going to do about this. We want to know what you're going to be doing next. Don't tell us, oh, I've listened to the whole podcast and I love it. Yes, do that, and what you've done about it, and what you've achieved because of it. Because otherwise, you're not creating your own stepping stones. You're staying on the other side of the creek, watching the parade go by, or the creek go by, or who knows what's going to go by.
Exactly. Love it.
That's it. I haven't got anything else to say for now.
Well, as you're drinking your coffee, should we wrap up this episode? Because I think it's been a very deep and insightful episode. So here's what I'm going to say before I hand it over to Jose to wrap it up. Whatever's going on in your life, whatever's happening in your life, here's the thing. Find the frame and reframe it. Reframe it in the membrane. Reframe it in your brain. Reframe it in your eye. And reframe it everywhere around you. Because once you get hold of the reframe, your whole life will change, and your route to fame and your route to beat the pain will be worthwhile, because no longer will you be insane. Hey, do you like that? I didn't even mean to rhyme.
Yeah, I loved it. And you will achieve your fame.
Yeah. Not I'm saying you're insane at all, any of the listeners. Of course, that was a terrible example of poetry. But what I want to say is, whatever's going on, find the root cause, find a way to reframe it. Apply everything that Jose's talked about with the smart outcomes.
Yeah, smart outcomes.
Look for the strategies that work for you. That's what's really important. Here we're suggestive, right? We can only go on what we can drop into an episode, but find what works for you. Find the people that've got your back. Find the people who want the best for you, not just what you can pay them, right? Remember, it's a step-by-step process, right? I'll let Jose come back to his own metaphor. But remember, it takes time. Be nice to yourself. Give yourself that compassion. Give yourself self-love. And know that as long as you're on this journey, you're way ahead of those that sit on the couch. Over to you, Jose.
Powerful. Loved it. Yeah, instead of sitting on the couch, what are you going to do? So 2 questions. What would happen if you didn't do something about it? What would happen to your life, to your career, to your relationships? And then what will happen when you do something about it? How is that going to transform your life? How is that going to transform the way in which you communicate? Your job, your speaking skills, your relationships, your success. Think about them both, because both can help you motivate yourself and go towards what you want. Carry on listening to the Elliot and Jose show. I was going to say again, yes, that one as well, the Public Speaking Experts podcast. Stay tuned and keep us posted about your progress. As Elliot likes to say, there is no perfection, and progress trumps perfection. Is that right?
Yeah.
So carry on working on it. This is a marathon. On to the next episode.
You've been listening to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Follow us on Instagram and join us next week for even more. Remember to always speak your greatness. Subscribe, rate, and comment.